Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
What do you get when you mix two white boys, both named Mike? A thing for Justin Timberlake and a piercing above your eye. Was he high? Their stories alone could make you cry. That's when you want to make your Irish goodbye.
Hi there, everybody. Ooh,
Hello.
crystal clear. We did it.
We did do it. I got it. I looked back, and we'll tell you what's missing back there. But I don't know if Irish Joey hates us already, or if he's terrified to be doing this.
Yeah, we have, first off, welcome everybody to another episode of Irish Goodbye Podcast, a storytelling podcast. I'm one of your hosts with a sling in the most. Mike Feeney being joined with me as always.
By Mike Cannon, you really look like the dad that got injured on vacation.
Yeah.
Like you just bounced around a little too high seas with the jet ski.
One too many excursions.
That's right.
We had to do the banana boat
The
excursion.
itinerary was packed.
Yeah. Now I'm just going to have to drink my weight in Mai Tais. But Alex has again quit the show, so she's left in a huff for some reason. No one knows why. But filling in for her admirably, we have Irish Joey, which is, I assume, was there another Joey that works here? Or they just were like, they didn't think they wanted to put a personality on you.
Yeah, they're just like, you look like a Mick. I mean, you do look like Forrest Gump after his long run.
Yeah. Irish Joey, welcome to Irish Goodbye. Do you listen to the show?
I used to do a couple of graphic things for you guys a couple months ago. But I haven't listened too much. Now I'm doing like 45 podcasts.
Great. I appreciate half of that truth.
Yeah,
I wish I could have, the other half of the truth could have just been like, sure, yeah. I'm behind.
That was weird timing by my body because a cold droplet of sweat like went thunk as soon as he goes, haven't listened. Like with that syllable went just and I got extra mad.
And G Mike's still riding co-pilot over here.
Yeah, goddamn right.
I thought that
Fresh
you would
face.
move into the pilot seat and then Irish Joey would go co-pilot, but they just don't trust
me
you
for
at
that
all,
shit.
huh?
No,
Do you know? Are you good at that?
I'm getting good at it. I think I would have been able to, but I guess Alex doesn't think I'm able to.
Wow. And let's just get it out there. We are not happy or we don't accept Alex not being here. This was a surprise
Sneak
today.
attack.
When guys
genius.
just, I mean, it was a pretty genius.
It was a great move. It was a Feeney-esque move.
It was a little bit. It reeked of Feeney.
Yeah.
Because she was like, guys, like I said, I won't be there today. You know, Irish Joey's going to be taking over. He's unfamiliar with the show, never listened, doesn't know the cadence or the patter. What's your names?
Used to listen, not
Yeah.
as much anymore.
Not as much anymore. Fell out of favor with it. And we both, Feeney and I, were like, I'm sorry, but when was the first notice?
And then, like an excellent long-time girlfriend, she was like, I told you. You said this weeks ago. You were pissed.
Unlucky for you, but wildly lucky for me, it was in person and audible, so there's no evidence that it ever took place.
It was probably it was a handshake agreement. But Alex, so we've lost the feminine touch of the show this week.
I feel better already. I feel like we're making a full $1.
Yeah,
You know,
she
was pulling us down percentage-wise.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. If there's a good feel, I gotta say, I think Joey's like just blatant disrespect is fueling me to a level.
Yeah.
More
you want
so,
to impress him.
It's the kick in the butt that Alex hasn't been able to give us lately that now Joey's ambivalence and dead face is giving me right now.
Well, when Alex has been producing lately, I feel like she looks like an old person in Florida driving.
Yeah.
It's like she's slunched where I just see the top of her forehead and then knuckles come up and
she's
cut the cameras.
Corrado Soprano in the old folks' home. She's in a recliner with a blanket over her legs, sipping tea and eating a fucking dry cracker.
Oh, we miss her. All right.
I don't. It stinks in here, too. Let's get it out in the open.
I've showered.
I mean, it's not you. It is that gaping wound that you haven't cleaned in 3 days.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, there is some sort of wound or dead body or something in the walls of this place. Nobody seems to have any sense of urgency. It's either that or Ralph had like a very questionable lady of the night on his podcast because this smells like the Seattle fish market on a fucking Tuesday.
Meanwhile, G Mike just came in here, sprayed one spray of something into the air vent, which just shoots directly into my
Couldn't even say a long O. That's how much it hit my throat. Talk.
Oh, that was fun. Boy, oh boy, has it been a hell of a week, pal. I do have some. I have. If you're watching,
What
the
happened
show,
to you?
yeah. If you're watching the show, I'm in a sling right now.
Yeah.
And
Where we last left Feeney, he was putting his cats down. Now, let's hear how things have gotten better.
Yeah, better and also much, much worse. So, hey, also, here's something about the sling that maybe a doctor watching this, because we have a lot of doctors, see that there is a hole right
Thumb,
here.
yeah.
That's for the thumb?
Yeah, of course it is.
I put the thumb in there, but I've never seen this before.
No, that's like a goth kid sweatshirt. Yeah, it's for the thumb. It goes
It's
right
for
through
the
there.
thumb. I'm trying to get it on the camera here, but yeah, you slide the thumb in
It's
here.
a sling in a sling, and it's for your thumb.
I have a thumb sling.
What else would it be for?
Well, it could just be how it
Just poke your
fastens
cock
this.
through there.
Yeah. Oh, cool. All right. Anyway, so yeah, I had not one but two shoulder surgeries, and the story behind it. I mean, just the story of the day of
Wait,
it.
2 recently?
What do you mean?
Because I know you had one a long time ago.
2017.
And this
It's
was
also
the
not
second,
that long ago.
No, it's definitely cataloged on the show as well.
Yeah.
But you had 2 now?
Yeah.
Or this is the second
This
one?
is no that makes number 3.
No
2
shit.
in 1 thing.
Oh, I didn't feel bad enough for you.
Yeah, I was saying so.
Yeah. I
'Cause
felt nothing.
we
I
were
was
going to
like,
record
what?
the other podcast the
I was
day
mad
after.
you didn't do it.
Yeah.
I was mad you didn't do it. I was like, what the fuck?
Like less than 24 hours after, you're like, you don't want to do a double feature podcast? What the fuck, dude? So last Monday, I have this. I go in there. Now here's already what's a nightmare about going into this. So again, and I explained this on the last episode, but just a quick, very brief overview. I had a bone cyst inside my shoulder, inside the bone where it should be solid bone. It starts when you're a teenager, and they either shrink and go away, or they stay forever and fuck your shoulder up forever.
fun.
So I had the latter, and so I had a bone cyst in there, which has been causing all these other shoulder problems, and then I also had arthroscopic like rotator cuff like issues. There's like some fraying and some basic.
They had to do some sewing.
Yeah,
in
they
there.
just clean it up. It was
Did you
like
get
a
to see
cleanup.
the footage?
No, but I tried to.
You tried to get it and subtitle it and
Well,
put it on Instagram?
Yeah, Reels specifically. But so I go to do the surgery. So I'm having 2 surgeons come in. I'm having one is going to do the bone surgery, and the other one's going to do the arthroscopic surgery. I go in there 5 a.m. Erica drops me off, and here's the worst part: because of COVID, they won't let her in the hospital.
Right.
Not in the recovery room to come see me, which also not in the hospital. She can't even sit in the lobby. They just tell her, get the fuck out of here. They slap the back of the car like a horse's ass, and she,
I think that is like the height of insanity, that you could easily just show your vaccination card, even get a test, do whatever you got to do, and be like, come on, man. Like, there's
And when
just
you get
such
in
an
there,
easy route around this.
the second you walk in the door, you have to get a temperature check, and they give you a card that you have to give to the office being like, did you skirt the... And you're like, vaccinate. What was the point of the vaccination if you can't fucking,
Just scan my wrist.
Yeah. So I go in there. I'm all alone. Now, the surgery is not till 8. So I'm there at 5, or I think it was 5:30. I'm sitting there in this lobby. This nurse takes me back, and, it's just weird because I'm the first operation of the day. So I'm the first appointment. So people...
they're not even warmed up yet.
Dude, it's like when you have the first flight out on an airport, it's like
Yeah.
things are still opening. They're like pulling up the gate. The nurses are like yawning and scratching their ass, and I'm like, uh-oh. So
Oh, that's great.
I'm
You
laying...
stealing $8 water.
Yeah, so I'm laying there, and the nurse comes over, and she was like, all right, I'm going to do the IV. She was such a nice nurse, but she's like, I'm going to do the IV. So I go, okay. And she's like, I'm just going to put it here in your wrist. And I was like, I've never heard of that. What's that? And she was like, I'm going to put the IV in your wrist. I go, not in my hand where they've always done it, or in here where everybody always does. And she was like, no, the wrist is a common place to go. And I go, okay. And so she starts talking to me, and she's like she's putting the IV needle in, and I can see her like talking, but also struggling with it. And then she starts like
she's just hitting a ligament instead of a vein.
Yeah. So she starts like wiggling it around.
That's
in
how
there,
you find it.
And I'm feeling it, every inch of it. And then she was like, I don't know. She pauses like
Can
while
we
it's
make that a drop? By the way, I'm feeling it, every inch of it. 1,000,000% need to keep that just isolated for all of eternity.
So she goes to put it in, and then there's a moment where she's got it half in, half out, and I could see her deciding what to do, and she just goes, yeah. And like digs it, like jig, right in, and it goes in, and now I feel that IV. I feel the cool going up my arm.
Yeah.
You're rubbing.
I feel my own wrist hurting.
So it's going
I'm
up.
very in tuned right now.
Yeah.
I'm an empath, plus I'm high.
So it's going. I'm feeling the cold going up, and I'm like getting a little like woozy about it, but I'm trying to like hold it. And I'm like, all right, at least it's in and stuff like that. And she goes, the IV's it's not going up fast. It's not dripping fast enough. She goes, I'm gonna take it out and put it in your hand. And I go, what do you have? And then she pulls it out, and I feel it come out of my wrist and all of the area, dude. And what I said.
Imagine she pulled out too fast and you just shit all over the place.
And what I said, I just went, I don't like that, getting dizzy. And then I had a vasovagal reaction and completely tunnel vision passed out.
You sagaloed.
I sagaloed. I texted him from the hospital later on, being like, I pulled a I fucking full blown. It was because of the pulling out. Well, you didn't care. You showed no emotion.
I think I didn't care because you didn't text me. I put it on you.
Yeah. We had that conversation first. Yours inspired mine.
That's fair.
I fully pass out, dude. And I don't know what happened or how long I'm out for, but I wake up and there's like 5 nurses in there, and now they're like, one's like putting down their coffee, the other one still got their puff coat on, and they're one's like trying to hold my legs in the air to get air in, and the other one's like cold rag and all this other stuff.
And if Erica was here, she would have fucking filmed the entire thing, submitted it to court, and you guys would be goddamn millionaires right now.
Right. So I wake up, and I'm like, I wake up to, it like fades in with them talking like,
Yeah.
over, you okay?
Almost died.
Yeah. So I come to, and I have no idea.
You do the vague cross-eyed to focus again? It's so good. Every time you do it, it's just So I wake up. I don't know where I am. And I see all these doctors being like, "You're okay. You're all right now. Like, you're good. You're good." And trying to convince you. You're good. You're
But
good. Sign this liability, please.
But here's the thing: I come to as they're going, "You're all right. You're okay. You're okay now. You're okay." And I just go, "Man, that was a quick surgery. That is wow. I mean, I don't even remember going into the operating room. Like, this is great. Surgery's done. I'm going home. I don't feel anything. It's great." And they look at me like I literally was like, the surgery's done, and they look at me, they're like, we didn't even put the IV in yet.
Yeah.
You passed out, and I go, wait, what? And they go, yeah, we didn't put it back in. It's still right here. We have to do it. I go, you could have put it in when I was out? You could have just put it in? You have to make me wait. And they're like, no, we got to wait for your blood pressure to go down for you to relax, and then we'll do the thing that made you pass out all over again.
Yeah. They didn't want to fully coma you.
Yeah, I
could
guess.
have just been placed in the underworld and apparently never returned.
Dude, I have no memory of how long. I kept asking them how long.
Are you able to file a complaint about that? Because similarly, Nicole, when she was giving birth, they brought in a student to do her epidural, and he clipped her spinal cord or something like that, and she had searing fucking headaches after she gave birth and after the epidural wore off, which is apparently some crazy ass fucking side effect of the entire thing and the drug that they eventually wiggle. Afterwards we were like, hey, can we get an actual doctor and not some fucking kid that just showed up here for his eighth class?
Sure.
And then they had everybody sign some things and it was all good.
Oh wow,
insane.
Yeah,
and they're still sending bills.
Won't pay him.
Nope, ever.
So, now I'm pissed off because I'm like, obviously I'm like, I have that cold sweat. My blood pressure's going up. I hear my heartbeat on the heart rate monitor, which doesn't help.
No.
And then they wait for me to like come down and relax, and then they do it again into my hand. This time I'm better.
Is it the same person?
No, they tagged her out real quick. She was like, fuck, she was.
Yeah, they're like, did she try the wrist again?
Yeah. We've been telling her that is not a thing.
It's just never been.
Yeah.
She refuses to give it up. I feel like I've gotten one here. Is that wrong?
I don't know.
I don't know if I have, but I do remember when I got stung by like 200 hornets. That's when I got it in here, and I was on an IV for like 8 or 9 hours.
Yeah, that was the whole. So they get the IV in, so now it's like already a story before even the surgery happened. Now I got the IV in, and they're like, you probably got like 40 minutes or whatever. So I'm just sitting there watching SportsCenter and just, relaxing and stuff. And then the bone doctor comes in, and he goes, all right, how are you? I'm just going to talk to you.
That's what I call myself right before I have sex with the
bone doctor?
The bone doctor is in.
Yeah, the bone doctor is in. And she's like, the bone doctor isn't all the way in. The bone doctor is halfway in.
I tried the wrist again.
Yeah. Dino. And I am fucking, so I'm just chilling there. The doctor comes in, he starts just explaining what he's going to do. He's very whatever. And then he just goes, this is at 7:40, so 20 minutes before my surgery. Mm-hmm. He goes, so the other doctor, they called you, their office called you? And I go, no, what? And he goes, oh, he's not going to do the surgery today. It's just going to be me. And I go, what? Yeah, no, it's just going to be me. He felt like it wasn't necessary to do, so we're just going to do the one and hope for the best. And I was like, well, here's the thing. All the paperwork I've filled out, everything that I've done has been for both surgeries. It's been both surgeries through this morning when I checked in, and I don't know what audible is being called here, but also...
Yeah, while I'm about to pass out.
Yeah, and I already have the IV in me, like I'm in a hospital gown, like I'm ready for surgery. I'm on the other side of the door of surgery, and the arthroscopic part of it, while it was the least invasive of the two, was supposed to help a lot of my issues with like my hand, like, the circulation, because a lot of things were like a pinched nerve up here. So the debridement and all that was supposed to help that. So now I'm going like, what the fuck, dude? And he's just like, all right, let's just try and have like a positive outlook on it, and we'll just get through this, and hopefully you won't need the other surgery after that. And I'm like, what? I can't even do. There's nothing I can do. First off, I'm 20 minutes away from surgery. I already got an IV in me. Their doctor, the other surgeon's office isn't open until like at least 8. So I can't wait. What am I gonna do? Leave and then try and figure. So I'm sitting here. I'm calling with Erica, and I'm going like, what the fuck? What do I do? I don't understand. So I'm in the middle of like freaking out. Again, my heart rate down thing. It's getting just higher. The blood pressure just going up. I'm like,
I have a pool of sweat.
I'm like anxious, like, and they're like, well, and then he leaves, and he's like, let's just have a positive attitude about it. We'll get you in there in like 10 minutes, and like walks away. So now it's this whole counter of I don't know what the hell I should do. Should I get the surgery? Shouldn't get? What am I? So as I'm panicking, I'm on the phone with Erica. Erica's like, I don't know what to tell you to do. I don't know. And then as I'm doing that, the other surgeon. Like, as the other guy walks away, the second surgeon walks in. They don't see each other or say hi to each other. It was like comedically timed where they both missed it. And he walks in and he's like, hey, Mike, he's wearing a like Brooklyn Nets like zip up vest.
Fuck him.
And he's wearing like a vest, and he's not
fucking
Dr.
De Blasio.
The first surgeon is in the scrub, like he's in like ready to do surgery. The other guy is in a sweater vest and jeans. And I'm like, hey, there you are. What's going on? And he was like, well, he goes, how's it going? And I go, well, the other surgeon just said you're not coming here or whatever. And he goes, no, that was a mix up. I'm doing it. And I'm like, you are? And he goes, yeah. He's like, I'm here. We're doing it. We're going to do it. Don't worry. It'll be fine. And I'm like, and then he like just goes to.
What the fuck is going on,
and then
dude?
And then he goes like, so we'll be good. And he literally he does like this to me. I go, I'm pretty fucking stressed out right now because they just told me you weren't coming. And I do want that part.
I just twitched. Did you see my face?
Yes.
My face just closed slowly on the left side because I'm so stressed out.
So that's where I'm at. And I'm like, freaking out. I go, so you're going to be there. You're doing the surgery because that's like a part of it that's pretty important to those things.
Yeah.
And as I'm telling that, he literally goes like, It's fine, man. He gives me a passive hand. Good, don't worry, just go.
Snap
Just go.
your hand off your arm.
He just goes, no, you're good. As he's walking back from me, and I'm like on an IV in the bed, and he's like, yeah, we're good. It's all gonna be good. Don't worry, it's gonna be good. It'll be fine. And then he goes, what time's the surgery? Like 9 o'clock? And I go, it's in 10 minutes. The surgery's in 10 minutes, so you have to get it. It'll be in 10 minutes.
My right eye just involuntarily closed. Dude, I'm experiencing every part of this. I'm getting so fucking pissed. What hospital?
I don't want to say that, but it's so I am. Yeah, so he goes 10 minutes. He goes, no. The surgery's 9, right? Check this schedule. The nurse is like, no, it's 8, and he's like, oh, better get ready, and then walked away. That's the last time.
He like takes a shit, doesn't wash his hands. Yeah. He's like, all right, let's get cooking in there.
Yeah, he's like, he starts cutting into my knee. They're like, shoulder. So now they walk me in, and it's not as fun and dramatic and movie like if you're having shoulder surgery, because you don't get wheeled in on the hospital bed with the lights passing you occasionally.
You wanted that?
You walk in. You just physically walk into the operating room, which is about 46 degrees in there, and then you sit on essentially like it looks like a lazy boy and sit in that. You're not laying down.
I want to get surgery.
Yeah. So I go in there, and the anesthesiologist talking to me, and he just goes, and they're playing, I think they were playing like Bob Marley or something, and he goes, I'm going to give you a little cocktail here. And I felt it going in, and that I guess was his symbol to be like, the count backwards from 100 thing. Right. But instead he just goes, I'm gonna give you a little cocktail here. And I like within a couple seconds I start feeling it, I'm tripping. And dude, I fought for every second of that trip, because I was like, whatever this is pretty great, man. And I'm in the I'm just kind of like looking, and everything's going like and then I just go bye, and then I wake up and I'm in post-op.
I mean, you're a brave man, because I would have tried to sleep as quickly as possible just because I'm worried about what's going to come flying out of my mouth. Imagine I'm just shit-faced for the first time in 2.5 years, and I'm like, Indian doctor, how original. Just something insane. I'm glad that was a one-shot on Feeney the whole time.
So that was the surgery day, which just was a fucking. I mean, the stress leading up to that surgery was just so unnecessary. From my first time.
So the guy actually did the surgery because it felt. I thought he was lying to you.
Me too. I wasn't sure he wasn't.
Was like, and then went and fucking talked to Kevin Durant for 6 minutes or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
really I wanted to say something funnier about Brooklyn, but the fact that like I don't care. They can't sully my parade. Do you know what I mean? Like
sure.
3 of the greatest players in the NBA, some in the history of the game, are in Brooklyn, and nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Like the entire city is 100% Knicks. It's the best.
It's a terrible time.
I'm sorry to go away
Knicks
from your stuff,
to have
but
had
like
their first playoff win.
My God, it's so great though. I mean, just the image of all that shit, watching that game with the pulse of the fucking crowd. I was emotional.
Yeah.
It's like 14 months since people were in the building. Fucking 8 years since we've won a fucking playoff game. 99 was the last time we had any playoff significance. The simple fact that it was just like that type of environment, a fucking D Rose coming back out of nowhere, just dropping 26 with a completely different, like this vintage Derrick Rose shit. He even said it, but it's totally true. He is no vintage. He's not as athletic as he was. He used to be a jungle cat, and now he's a he's a house cat that is wildly intelligent.
I was gonna say he's smarter.
Basketball decisions
he just played smarter
all the time. I'm so fucking excited about the Knicks, and sorry I had to cut off your goddamn surgery story.
No, it's great. That was. I mean, here's the thing. I didn't take much notes on the I just obviously those 2 moments I didn't have to write down. Pretty burned in my memory.
Yeah.
But the rest of that day I just am. I'm pretty. I'm just on, pretty much. They gave me Percocet, which is just like, if you take that, it just knocked me out. I was taking like 4-hour naps at a clip and stuff like that. And that's the hard part.
Did you have trouble shitting?
Yeah,
because Percocet, I've never taken Percocet because of an injury. I don't think. Like I may have when I sprained my ankle and I don't remember or something. Yeah. But I took a Percocet once recreationally, and it made me sick to my stomach, and I couldn't shit for like a day and a half, 2 days.
It's not great.
No.
Oh, I remember this. This was something. So I get out of surgery, and usually when you're in post-op, that's when your family, in your recovery, that's when your family can
people
come
you
see you
love.
and friends. Yeah, anybody. A wishful. And also, they're important there for another reason. It's because
They're your advocate.
yes, and all of the nurses and both surgeons, although I don't think I saw the other surgeon, they come up after and tell you everything and what to do going forward, but you are
Fucked.
coming out of anesthesia and also on a ton of painkiller. I think they had me on 1,000 milligrams of Percocet or something
Sounds
crazy. It was great, but I was just, I'm like, just.
I mean, did you ask, like, could you follow this up with an email that
Well, they
reinforces
also
what you
called
say?
Erica, thank God. But they're like handing me papers, and so they just after like an hour, they don't even. I remember when I had the last surgery. Erica came and said hi. Then I went back to sleep for a while. This was like They did the surgery at whatever 8:00. It was. I was out of the hospital by like 11:30. By the time I woke up once, they're like, "Oh, you're up. You want cookies? You want this?"
Right.
And I'll show the video you have. That's on my Instagram, G Mike, of me, which they gave me my phone. Like I woke up and I'm like, "Where?"
They're like, here, make a life-altering decision.
I wake up in the recovery room and I'm like, "Oh, the IV again," And they're like, "No, we got it in this time." So they hand me my phone this time, and they just are like, "Here you go."
It's open to Instagram story. They're like, have at it.
And I posted and I made this.
But I won. At 11?
Oh, pause it for 1 sec. I said the first thing I said was, I don't know where the fuck I am, but I won, which is just,
You won.
I don't know.
You beat surgery.
I won. I guess that's what I meant.
Yeah.
But it's people have been laughing. They're like, that's the kind of like id level confidence that I want. If it's just like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know where I am, but I fucking won.
Yeah, that
You're
would-
fucking out, Kenny Power style level.
I mean, he loved Percocet, probably.
Yeah.
But that is, like, what a lovely drug that would be if you could just kind of pill that up. Oh, yeah, it's like the guy getting up from his wheelchair in church. You're saved!
Yeah.
But if there was a pill of that, do you know what I mean? That could bring out your id. I mean, there probably is. I guess that's kind of cocaine. Never mind.
Yeah.
I'll just do coke.
It's just cocaine. So yeah, go ahead. So I also said it was So I said it was 11.
I guess the surgery was like 2.5 hours.
Very wrong. It was like 1 hour.
But I'm okay. I can't feel a goddamn thing. There's no way I should be posting this. But I don't know.
I don't know what that neck move. Look at my eyes, dude.
I don't love how much you're flirting with the camera. Like, that is... You wanted that fucking iPhone 12 to suck your dick.
Dude, look
It's the
at...
sultriest you've ever looked.
I know you can rewind these, but keep it right there. Look at my eyes, man. They look
Yeah.
like Leonardo DiCaprio blue. They're hazel eyes is what I have.
That is the face of your uncle crawling into bed with you.
After too many Rolling Rocks.
Yeah, right after the family barbecue.
Yeah.
He's shit-faced and, he could use a nap and/or something else.
What are you watching, Mayor of Easttown?
No. Is that what happens?
Boy. No. But,
Oh. Well, I guess it must.
That's the whole thing. So I am just completely out of my mind, and they were. I remember they were like, "Do you want graham crackers or Famous Amos cookies?
Yeah.
And do you want water or ginger ale?"
What is that?
Well, how would you have answered?
Famous Amos. Anus?
Wrong answer.
No.
Yeah, wrong answer.
First of all, you have no idea the snack life I'm living, my man. I'm living your dream snack life. I have access to 2-year-old snacks nonstop all the time.
Yeah, but in
graham
this scenario-
crackers. I piss graham crackers.
No, but you don't. That's not. I didn't say that you were wrong. I said that was the wrong answer. Because the right
with what
answer
you
is what
picked.
I said, which is all of it. So I got the Famous Amos cookies.
Wow,
I got the graham
My eye
crackers.
twitched again.
I got the graham crackers. I got the fucking ginger ale, and I got the water,
Oh
baby.
my God, chocolate milk.
I won. No,
You
they
did
didn't-
win.
It wasn't an offer, but yeah. And then and then they like made me stand up, and they're like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "Pretty woozy." And then like this Jamaican nurse comes over, like rips my arm up, puts my sleeve on me, and then like I'm a drunk at a bar, and pretty much kicks me in the ass out the front door, which Erica's car door was open. I just fell fucking face first
Right
into
on your shoulders.
Yeah.
What's the wound?
My legs are dangling out the window as she drives me home. It's fucking crazy.
Oh, it's great. Well, let's drive home the fact that these people need to continue to write these 5-star reviews.
Hey!
So wordy, but we got there, baby. That's right. If you're listening, pause this bitch.
Pause.
Go to iTunes or wherever you get this podcast. Pop a 5-star review up there, write a review, whatever. You get a chance to win some free merch as we do scroll once a month, and send that out to a lucky listener. So write a review. There's something in it for you, but also it helps out the show that you are loving because you're listening.
Yeah. Irish Goodbye Podcast across all social media, and send us a story, as many people have, which has been fantastic. Thank you. We'll still get to them. We like having a backlog of them. It's nice to have there.
I like logs.
You guys can go to MikeFeeneyComedy.com if you want to... Actually, first off, before I get to that, if you want to support the show in other ways, you can get a Gas Digital Network subscription using the code IGP, which gives you a 7-day free trial to all the other shows on the network, all of our backlogged episodes, all of our bonus content, over 200. I think we're on episode 230, 229, whatever it is. It's an insane amount of episodes that you can get access to. Even
10 left.
7-day free trial. Take the 7-day free trial and then fucking do the 7-day free trial, listen to every single episode, and then cancel it if you want, right?
Yeah.
Well, Mike, would you believe me if I told you this weekend only, if you do IGP 30, you get a 1-month free trial?
Oh, well,
if you're
look at
listening
that.
live.
If you're listening live, do it. If you're watching on YouTube right now or something like that, IGP 30. 30-day
Wow.
free trial.
Free trial. Download everything. You're going to like it. It's worth it. We're one of the few shows that actually does bonus footage as well. We just did a thing with
an unboxing you did.
Peng Dang. What's that kid's name?
Peng. Oh, gee, I covered his mouth. He works on Legion of Skanks. He covered his mouth because Mike made an Asian His name is Paco, and he's from Hawaii.
I wasn't that wrong.
He's from Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
So... Yikes.
Moana.
I'm sorry. You're lucky I don't have the drop thing here. Because boy, oh boy, if ever a time.
I was serious. I
know.
was dead serious. So it's just a blind spot. Just blame how I was brought up. You know? It's not me. My heart is good.
Yeah.
MikeCannonComedy.com for dates. In the next week or two, I'm going to be in Poughkeepsie, New York. Come on out to that at Laugh It Up Comedy Club, doing 3 shows, 1 Friday, 2 Saturday. Let's sell that bitch out. I got some bonuses to hit. People are coming out. It's going to be great. I have more dates. Oh, this Sunday, actually, if you're watching live, I'm last minute edition. I'm going to be in Portsmouth, Rhode Island for the Rogue Island Comedy Festival, headlining 2 shows at the tent. It's going to be super fun. I'm also filming that, and I'm going to be putting it up on the Patreon, patreon.com/scenariopod. We put all of our bonus footage for our podcast. Here's a scenario. I have a bunch of shit going up there. I just did a heads up poker match with Bobby Kelly. That might have been the funniest
Can't wait to see that.
2 hours of all time. And, it sucks that the editor's going to have to figure out how to whittle that down and make it watchable.
Yeah.
But, man, was it so goddamn good. So, yeah, just sign up over there. Ton of content. And, come out to Rhode Island. Come out to Poughkeepsie. More dates coming in. I'm going to be in New Hampshire at the end of the year. I'm going to Chicago. I'm going to Ohio. I'm going to Austin. Bunch of stuff coming in. And really, really relying on you guys coming out because just frankly, offers right now are just, hey, how about we piss in your mouth? And if somebody shows up, we'll give you $1.
Yeah. It's been terrible what some of these clubs offer.
Yep,
but
so come out.
The ones that are the ones
and we're really fucking good. I'm tired of saying this like I'm some fucking grub beggar. If you come out, it's going to be a good goddamn show. We're both world-class goddamn comedians.
We'll give you our game, we promise. Just like if you come out, let's see what road dates I got. I got coming up I'll be at Uncle Vinny's the weekend of July 9th and 10th. I will be at, this is far out, but I'll be at Comics, Mohegan Sun again, Thursday, August 5th through the 8th.
Yeah.
Skankfest, or through the 7th, I guess, Skankfest, and, the works and a bunch of other stuff.
I'm going to be at Comics Mohegan Sun July 8th through 10th.
Boom.
Also,
look at that.
Very excited for
and, go to my YouTube, youtube.com/Mike Feeney Comedy, please, and subscribe to it, and watch my special Rage Against the Routine. Thank you very much. Look at that. Boom. You can watch, you can listen.
I mean,
you can do
how
it all.
much content
Share
and
it.
quality content could 2 sweet boys put out without some motherfucking industry buzz?
Yeah.
Support Mike Feeney Comedy on YouTube, Mike Cannon Comedy on YouTube. Click subscribe. All this shit that doesn't cost anything for you guys, it is actual
currency.
It's currency for us. Click subscribe. There's so many more listeners of this podcast than we both have of fucking subscribers. So subscribe.
Yeah, and also we love you and thank you very much for supporting the show.
It's not your fault.
G Mike.
Hi, I'm G Mike across all platforms. Follow us on social media. Follow the show. Irish Goodbye Podcast on Instagram and Irish Goodbye Pod on Twitter. Again, IGP30. Get a month for free. Memorial Day weekend.
Irish
so
Joey.
Sweet.
Follow me on all social media at It's Irish O'Neill.
Nice. Can I have another one of these? Just if they have a black cherry one. This is great. I don't know whose these are in the fridge, but I'm drinking them.
They're yours. They definitely were for the
show that was earlier.
Yeah, the snail trails
I think
left
they're
behind.
for everyone.
Okay. Yeah, there was they're like a very, very popular pop star group or something.
That was?
Yeah, they were.
Who were they?
They have billboards in Times Square. Seasons or something.
Oh.
SE. I don't know. I've never heard of them, obviously.
Yeah.
But is this going to be a bad look if in a couple of years they're just the next fucking.
And we're just like those dime a dozen fish stinking whoas. Well, somebody smelled, but I don't know who it was. Take that information with you, if you will. Speaking of Uncle Vinny's, I did Uncle Vinny's a couple weeks ago, I think, at this point. But I left after this podcast, and I think I messaged both you and Alex after 2 hours after the podcast ended that I was still in Manhattan.
Yes.
Because I was.
Yes.
I was only on the opposite
that Hudson
side.
crawling to the fucking right?
Crawling
down
to the fucking
Broome Street or something?
to the tunnel.
Yeah.
And I had maybe 1.5 gallons of coffee and 3.5 gallons of water, and I'm bursting at the seams. Like I feel like my abdomen is going to tear apart.
Yeah.
So I had a coffee cup and I'm parked in an avenue.
Broome Street.
So there's like a truck here.
Yeah.
Every time as if I have an option of anywhere to go. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? What am I going to do? And it's like, yeah, I guess you can be loud and get your, rocks off. But what the fuck?
But the problem with that area of the city, and which is why it's always that way it's always Broome Street leading up towards the crawl to the tunnel. Because I've been stuck in that for a couple hours many times before. But the problem is that it's such a narrow passageway, and then it all kind of merges. And instead, what always happens is the crosstown traffic or the other traffic decides to block the box.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because everyone's like, I don't want to have to wait for the light to change again. So they all drive into the middle. Then that turns red. Then they're stuck. Now the whole next light of people can't go because that's red. And it just causes... And meanwhile, they're always... And tell me if you're wrong. There's probably crossing guards there that are like not doing the thing they're there to do. They'll be they're like, oh, all the traffic's here. We'll stand where everyone's doing 80 and go like this to people.
It's really frustrating that it all just stems from inconsiderate country.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just
selfishness.
And it snowballs. And it happens when you're even going into the tunnel. Like, people are trying to edge ahead of you.
Yep.
I'm like at the point, dude, where I'm just swinging the automobile and I'm like, let's fucking go. Let's fuck.
So
let's hit cars. So I'm in the middle of whatever avenue in the box, and I'm just like, I have to. I can't do anything. So I dump the coffee out. I had a little more coffee left, and I just start pissing. And it fills up
it's always more than you think.
Instantly.
Yeah.
And it's a fucking Dunkin' Donuts big-ass coffee. It's not like one of these little fucking hoity-toity.
You always piss more than you think.
Dude, it immediately, and I hold it, I pinch my dick muscles.
Wait, you don't actually physically pinch. You don't clothespin it.
No, I kegeled. I held my dick
Wow, I've
opened
never
the door, threw 1 gallon of piss, put the cup back, and everyone saw because I had coffee, so it was highlighter yellow. Yeah. I basically dumped a bucket of Dijon mustard on the
Why
fucking
did you
tarmac.
open the door? Why did you just put the window down?
Because I didn't want to spill it on the door, so I wanted to just get it as close to the ground as possible.
Okay.
I mean, in retrospect, it caused way more of a scene.
I was gonna say your pants are down and your dick's out and you're.
Right. I didn't even think of that, to be honest. But, I don't know if anybody saw me. But I also did this thing where my pants were at my knees. My undies were, tucked real low.
Sure.
And I was keeping the cup, under the seat.
Yeah.
So I was, trying to, and I tried to,
arc rainbow in it. It's almost
arc
impossible.
my dick.
That's because of bucket seats, man. Fucking bucket seats.
And so I pissed the second cup insta-filled. And I'm like, what the fuck? I Kegel again. I throw it out. Some lady goes, Mommy, what's he doing? You know, like a kid. And you just hear everybody noticing. And a third cup, I fucking pissed and just threw out the door. And somebody was like, dude. I heard somebody from a car just go, dude. And I was like, I mean, thank God I was done. Like, that was it. But I filled 3 fucking full. I think it was a medium Dunkin'
Were you
Donuts.
whimpering?
Well, yeah, I was like, oh.
No, before you did it, when you had to go so bad. When you're like,
Well, I was like.
Like a dog that has to go out?
Yeah, and I get so bitchy where I'm like, oh, dude, come on. Like, I'm complaining to an invisible mommy. And I'm like, fuck this. And then I'm like, and I pissed all over my seat.
I was just going to say,
leather.
You can't not pee on.
Pissed on my pants.
You're going to get, because.
I was wearing these pants.
Yeah.
So I got to Uncle Vinny's with a sweet fucking, you know, a 50-cent piece of piss right in the most visible area you could ask for.
Well, and that's the thing, too, is because even if you can stop it and arc rainbow it, you still your body is in a inward position like this. So once you straighten up, there's going to be more dribble coming out. So it's like, you know, which is why you always get the splash.
Yeah, well, and also I think at one point, like, the cup, it shocked me how quickly it filled up. I did the herky jerk and I spilled it all over my pants.
Yeah, once it gets on your thumb for even a second, you're like, forget it. Who cares?
Yeah, I'll just fucking pound it. I considered drinking it. At one point, I got so frustrated. I was like, I'll just pound this. So I get to Uncle Vinny's. That's the that was the Thursday. This is Saturday. There's this. It's funny. My barber actually came to this show and only told me when I went to get my haircut. He's like, just a heads up. I went to
the barber, the one who's always you've talked about.
No, not that guy. Oh. Not that guy. I have a new barber who's like fucking legit, and he's a good Empire Barbershop in Tapan, New York. He's a good guy, Brian Fitzpatrick. He actually went to my high school too, but got this really great positive outlook on things and is like, you know, broadening his horizons and expanding his business. And we always talk about that kind of thing. And he's a genuine positive influence in my life.
Okay.
Good guy. And he showed up to my show without telling me, which, you know, could have said hi. But then he told me when I was getting my haircut and I was like, oh, yeah, because he reminded me of this story. I was doing comedy and I was doing well. And this one lady in the front was just like hammered drunk and way too old to be that hammered, but she was like a 55-year-old beach person.
Sure.
So every day is 5 p.m., you know, like that kind of clam. And she's there with some fucking absolute simp, this old fucking douche that just like, she's like, no, we're just friends. And he's like just sinking into his chair, like, another evening taking her out, and apparently this is going to continue. And classic hackery ensued where I made fun of that. Sure. But then she was like, I have 4 kids. Like, just starts like screaming about her children. I forget what happened. She's like, I could be a comedian. I go, why don't you fucking pop and lock your ass up here? But, you know, if you spin, I said something where I was like, why don't you break dance over here, but maybe your fucking uterus will fall out from your forehead. Like something so insane like that, which the whole room, like Arsenio audience, then went crazy. Yeah, they were like, hell yeah, drag this bitch to hell. Let's kill her. Like, you know, everybody smelled blood at that point.
Yeah.
But it was so fun. And, you know, after the set, I go in the bathroom and some guy's like, oh man, he's like, I could tell you were fucking nuts when you were younger. And I'm like, not that old. And, you know, and he's like, you probably partied crazy, right? And I'm like, oh, you know, he's like, just the way you talked, it like sounded very authentic. Like I could tell you've been through it. He's like, want a bump? And I'm like, no, I'm good, dude. Thank you very much, though. And then he's like, you sure? And I'm like, I'm positive, thanks.
But also, don't ask me one more time.
Yeah, honestly, I'm like fucking Will Ferrell and Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, yes, I do. Whatever fentanyl's in it,
it's
I'll
also
do it.
such a funny office moment when Pam's pregnant and Dwight's like, he like tries to get everyone to be indebted to him with doing a favor. So he's like, bagel, Pam? And she's like, no, thank you. And he's like, right, I forgot you're a woman. You have to turn it down the first time. Bagel, Pam?
But dude, it's so funny because like then I'm pissing in the urinal and he's in the stall and I just hear him doing cocaine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I tasted the baby laxative. Like I got a drip when he did it. I heard him go and I was like, like I could feel it in the back of my throat, and I was like, I had to get the hell out of there before I just stayed there for the week.
We kicked on the door and
yeah.
come here!
Yeah, I was like, what kid and what wife?
Yeah. Yeah, that, but it was good, but otherwise it was good?
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. It was really good.
That was
really fun. Court came out. Kevin, they brought some people.
Love it. Love them.
One of which I think was really like horrified by a lot of the things I said. But it's like you have a fucking computer in your pocket. If you don't take the time to research what you're going to do, that's on you.
Yeah, I had one of those nights too. This was like pre-surgery that I don't even have a story about because it was just the only thing is, like, it's just a positive, felt great. I had 4 shows. Yeah. I had 3 at Gotham Comedy Club, and 1 I was doing that show, Mama's Boy, which is a good show.
Nice.
And I just, it was like 3 sold-out shows at Gotham, and just one of those, it was like 65 degrees that night. So it was such a nice New York City night. I got parking right out front of Gotham. Obviously can't be taught. And then I go in there, do the spot. Sold out show number 1, great. Sold out show number 2, great. Then Casey Boston and I, because we were both at Gotham together, we boogie down to the Mama's Boy show. We do that show, which is like, they do like secret location types things. And it's such a cool thing.
They do like 5 shows a week.
They do a lot.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So it's cool as like a comedian to be able to, I guess, also, be the kind of performer that can play to a upscale comedy club, like a high profile comedy club, and also play to a place that is like it was like a gym for ex-convicts started, Con Body.
The movie Kids as a comedy show.
And it's all just like super young, super hot people that are at this, that are just like, they're somehow in the know of where the hot comedy shows are and stuff. And it just was like, and that show was great. And then we go back to Gotham and do the 4th one. And that was one of those first times where you're like, man, this is a New York City back kind of moment. Like, I feel like it's going to be a good summer.
Yeah, I agree. I had a similar night. I think it was the weekend after Uncle Vinny's, but I found. So this guy has been helping me. He's a young comedian. He just started. I think he did his first open mic. But he actually he's a photographer. He's the one that took my snazzy fashion shots in the studio. He made me look relatively handsome. But Lucas Goldman, and he's been shooting a lot of the stuff that we've been doing lately. So he's filmed the Mike Takes Edibles with me and Sagalo. And on Friday, or this past Friday, I went out, and I was supposed to do 4 sets, but the last set got canceled because the fucking curfew hadn't been lifted yet. Like, it lifted the next day or 2 days or whatever it is. It's like all this fucking bureaucratic bullshit. It's so fucking annoying. Yeah. But so I only had 3.
Like not being able to have family in the hospital when you get multiple surgeries, when the surgeon's not showing up.
Vaccinated family. We did what you said. We lined up like lemmings, and what do we get for it?
Our heads chopped off.
A solo surgery? You fucking jizz buckets.
Not a fan.
So he was like following me around, and we were shooting some stuff. That's going to go up on the Patreon too. I do have to give big credit to Michael Harrington, because he runs a really good thing over at Old Man Hustle, Brooklyn Comedy Club in Brooklyn, in Williamsburg. I had never been there before. I wasn't familiar with the space. The space is cool. It's like this little box. It's like it's dark. It's isolated. Like it was a really fun time and a good show. And I just wanted to give him some actual positive affirmation, because
so happy he's in the studio and can't hear this.
Yeah. Oh, is he? Oh, nice. That's hilarious. He hurt his foot.
No one ever tell him.
What a dumb idiot.
Yeah. I have a fun, well, not fun, actually the opposite of fun thing that we could try to make fun.
Perfect. I have a couple of those.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, good. This is pretty traumatic. So this was the week leading, the couple days before surgery or whatever, but in between the last time we recorded and this time. And Erica, she walks the dog in the morning. She gives the morning walk. She's like a morning person. She's up super early. I do the late night walks and stuff. And she comes back home and wakes me up, which already are like bad things.
Yeah.
Bad things. So what happened was she went outside. She went to walk the dog. She got like half a block or so away from us. And while, Jeet's just smelling and doing stuff, a fucking pit bull off its leash with no collar comes running at both of them, runs up to Jeet, immediately starts like trying to bite him and like growling and stuff. Erica is like half in shock and freaking out. She's like trying to, do the thing you're not supposed to do, which is like get in between the two dogs. And Jeet's not like fighting back. He's legitimately like scared and like very afraid. He's a very gentle dog, so he's like very afraid. And this dog is just like
Jeet's like, what's your deal?
Yeah,
dude? Get
away. Literally. It's
Stop.
just fucking like, come on.
You're annoying
and
me.
this dog is like, just this fucking muscle missile coming running at and just fucking growling and biting.
Muscle missile.
Crazy, right? So she picks Jeet up into the air, and the dog is like growling and barking and stuff. And
it didn't bite her?
I don't think it did. I think it was like really focused on Jeet. So he was like maybe like scratching her to get to him kind of thing. So she's like pushing him away. And she's so like scatterbrained. Like our apartment is like on the same side of the street she's on, but reversed. And she's just not even thinking. She like runs into like the middle of the street.
Yeah.
She's like screaming out loud to people like help. She's screaming for help. There's like a woman with her with her son that are walking down the street, and they like, she like protects her kid and runs away. And
as she should have.
There's car owners that are just like, people are like, oh my God. Like there's like a full-blown scene happening out there, and like eventually she gets across the street, and these dog, and she's still like being like attacked, and these dog owners, like, these people in the street find and somehow get the dog into like this little gated alley where like garbage pails are and stuff like that, and kind of close the thing. So she wakes me up, tells me all this shit.
The owner of the bodega just goes out, puts it down, and then kicks it on top of the pile of other pit bulls.
Yes. So she's immediately like, she comes in, she's all shaken up, she's like freaking out and stuff, and then I go out onto the terrace and look and stuff, and the dog's still there. The dog's like behind the fence, but the dog is like, he's a fucking like huge like muscular ass. This dog must have been 85 pounds.
Is he pacing or is he?
Yeah, he's like trying to get out. Like he's not like ravenous right now, but he's like big high energy, like get me the fuck out of here. Dude. And so people are kind of like holding the fence, waiting for it and stuff like that. And then we're like trying to find out who the owner is, And then some other woman was like, "Oh, I see."
Like 6 Puerto Ricans walk by and they're like, "Hey."
Yeah. Rocky, no.
Yeah, he's God.
They were Mexican, I guess.
Go.
So, and they end up, someone else.
The dog's the enemy, not us.
Yeah. Someone took the dog that they were like, I think I know whose it might be. So they just like they were actually on a walk with their dog. They took their dog home, brought back the leash, put that dog on it, and walked that dog away. And we never found out who the owner was, but Erica like screamed from the terrace because they were across the street, right? And she's like, hey, she's like, whoever's dog that is, let they know that dog attacked me and my dog.
Yeah.
Like, let them know that. And she was like, okay, and like just walked away.
Yeah, sure thing.
Yeah, and so she walked away, and it wasn't until, and we never saw what happened. The dog got reunited with the family, whatever. But it wasn't until last night.
Like a soldier coming home.
Yeah, last night I went to the laundromat, and I was coming back from the laundromat, and as I'm walking into my building down the street, I see 2 people walking a brown fucking pit bull. And I'm like, is that the fucking dog? But I was barely awake when I looked at it. So I'm like, so I run upstairs and I go to Erica. I was like, is that the fucking dog? And she's like, I don't think it is. And then she pulls up a picture because they posted on like these, fucking like, things or whatever. And she had like a screenshot of it. So she found the picture of the dog and she was like, that's absolutely the dog. And it was like 2 people who like, the girl was just wearing like, like a hoodie with like shorts and just very, and the guy was like, the guy actually had some weird leg brace or something on, but they were definitely like late 20s, just kind of,
They're absolutely those type of dipshits that are constantly posting about how pit bulls aren't dangerous.
Yeah.
We've only
pity lover
stereotyped them as dangerous dogs. Yeah, those fucking
and then
imbeciles.
they were like, he's the nicest thing. He wouldn't do anything. And meanwhile, this dog is just like this fucking thing.
Yeah.
So we found
if it decided to turn on them,
yeah,
it'd be fucking over.
Yeah. Their bites are they can bite a stick and you can pull it in the air and they're just holding on.
If it looked at those people and are like, they're no longer helping me get food.
Yeah,
that's
it.
That's it.
And thank God. I mean, the good part of the story is that like Erica didn't have any and Jeet didn't have any sort of like Jeet had a cut on like his ear, but like it was very superficial and nothing like bad. But you're like, holy shit. especially when you
could've
just
been
wake
awful.
up in the morning
Yeah.
and you're like not prepared for a pit bull fight.
Yeah.
You know, like I felt so bad. I was like, and then I got told to surgery, and I'm like, by the way, can you do every walk for the next few months? Because I can't. I'm not allowed. So go out at 11.
I can't get pulled.
Yeah,
It'll
yeah,
hurt.
so-
I mean, I told that awful. Did I tell that story?
I don't know, but don't. If
I'm
it's
gonna
No,
match your trauma
no,
with
do
a bit
your
of
other
trauma.
one.
I will also do that. But so my aunt and similar situation, weirdly enough, she was walking my baby cousin on Levittown, Long Island at the time, and I believe, and she was walking my baby cousin, and a German Shepherd similarly was loose, ran, and it's their across the street neighbor, ran and fucking attacked them, like bit my cousin when she was a baby, bit my aunt, the whole thing, like really like fucked him up, and I don't know how they got away, but they got away, and the dog got brought back to the yard. My uncle, being a cannon or whatever, being a psychopath, he's all of 6'5", 450 minimum. Has a 120-pound Rottweiler named Rocky.
Oh, yes.
And he gets home, hears the story, is incensed, obviously.
Yeah.
Nobody has contacted him. Nobody has apologized. Nobody has said what plans they have for that dog or anything. So he takes his dog, which I've seen run through a fence when he requested.
Right.
He said, Rocky, come. And the dog ran through a fence.
Yeah.
So this dog is very loyal. He walks the dog over to the yard, opens the fence, and goes, Rocky, kill. And the dog killed the German Shepherd.
I mean...
And my uncle told me that story and died laughing at the end.
You're like, by the way, I was 8 when he told me.
I think I might have been. I was 4th grade tops.
Dude, I mean, that is such an insane to have a dog. It's like, how many things has he killed that he knows the word kill like that? And also, he must have been like, a German Shepherd's not an easy dog to take down.
No.
But that's what made Erica's thing so scary, too, is that the dog didn't have a collar or a leash on. So you're like, there's nothing
It's a wild animal.
There's nothing to grab it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't grab its
might as
collar.
well be in the Serengeti at that moment.
Except she's wearing like, sweatpants and flip-flops. It's like she's not like...
As opposed to what? A loincloth and fucking old tires?
I don't know. Sneakers, like ready, jeans, denim. I don't know, something. But it was... Yeah, it was just a fucking. It's brutal, man. And here's the thing. I will say this, and this is the only thing, and especially right because you're a dad, right? You are.
I've mentioned it.
Yeah, it's come up. So the only what I fucking hate that goes on, because we see this every time we walk Jeet, and I think this is just a New York City families thing, but please don't make crew this way, is that every fucking time we walk Jeet, which again, I understand if I had that pit bull on a leash, right? But with Jeet, smiling, gentle, very quiet, low to the ground dog, all of 40 pounds, we'll walk by a family, and any kid that's under 10 will go like, ah, and like hide behind the parent, and which is fine. The kid's allowed to be afraid of a dog because maybe a bad experience happened to them, but the parents never ever go like, hey, it's all right. Look, he's friendly. He's friendly. Like instead they just ignore the kid doing that, keep talking, or they like go like this when you're like, he's not even trying to go over and say hi. He's walking in a straight line, and you're like, you are ruining your kid to dogs for the rest of his life at such a young age.
There's a lot of people with potent reproductive parts that should have never been given access to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, for real. I mean, every single time I'm trying to make all animals a positive experience for crew, where he's like at dogs, he's like woof, woof. Like he's fired up. He sees dogs and he's like, hell yeah, man, I'm in this. But yeah, there's just
every day it happens. Every single day, the families just let the kids go like, they get so scared,
and they're like, Ulysses, don't worry, here's a gluten-free carrot or whatever the fuck.
Well, I will say a lot of the parents that do that, notice there's a lot of like immigrant parents that are in my neighborhood. Like it's a lot of like Middle Eastern. A lot of Indian people.
In fairness, like all of their dogs have like 14 nipples dragging on a dirt road.
yeah, but they're not, and it's just like, come on, it's just like, for your kid's sake, wouldn't you want your kid not to be afraid of something? And not to be like, no, you go pet that dog, but be like, it's fine, just console.
But that's frills, they're focusing on career success.
Yeah, they're focusing on anesthesiology.
Complete bullshit.
Yeah.
They're focusing on where to stick that needle, wrist or other.
Yeah. Was it wrist? I think it was wrist.
I think it might have been wrist.
Yeah.
Paul Mooney, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. to Paul Mooney, which, was really funny to see how many comedians that, are like, oh, I love Paul Mooney, all this stuff. It's like, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. And even if you had a social experience with him, you probably didn't. He definitely didn't like you, and you probably didn't like him because he was just such a just a cunt.
Yeah.
But he was incredible and a genius. And my one Paul Mooney story that I have, this is how I met Ray Goots, as a matter of fact, or became pals with him. I was at Broadway Comedy Club doing shows, and it's late on a Sunday, right? It's probably like 11:30. And Goots is hanging outside of Broadway, and I guess he's like kind of looking for a comedian. He's literally looking around, and he goes, "Can you do time right now?" And I was like, "What? Yeah, where are we going? Like in Broadway? Let's go." And he's like, "I need to run you to Caroline's." He's like, Paul Mooney's show is running late. He's like, Harrison Greenbaum is hosting. He always hosted for Paul Mooney, and he was doing he had done 80 minutes at that point. 80 fucking minutes opening.
Oh my God.
Opening for Paul Mooney's crowd.
He doesn't have that many magic tricks in his arsenal.
I mean, he tried to.
Yeah.
And they got tired from running around, but
yeah.
So I run with Goots all the way to Caroline's, right? And I'm like, oh, this is great. I can't believe it. From
This is how it happens.
This is exactly how it happens. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. This is excellent. I'm very confident in my act. I think I even, I was like 18 months in or whatever.
Yeah.
So I had the delusion that I was excellent and I fucking sucked. And Harrison sees me, brings me up on stage. And when 400 people fit in Caroline's. It's a sold-out room, and this was the ovation. One person. I'm dead fucking serious, dude. And I said...
Is Harrison?
yeah, it may have been, honestly. But I looked out, and it's, it's all Farrakhan's. And I'm just like... I know, not Paul, blah, 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 trying to identify
in your
with the
oversized
problem.
plaid shirt at the time.
Oh my God. Yeah. I was wearing my half fat guy thing where I was just such a bag of booze.
Khakis.
And just such a fucking awful decision. So I'm like pouring through my A and bombing, bombing where you're shocked and stunned.
Yeah.
You're almost like you're in what, when the guy
you're out on your feet.
The guy in Saving Private Ryan that gets patinged off his helmet and then he takes off his helmet and looks at it and then gets shot in the head.
Yeah,
that was me on stage doing comedy.
Yeah,
I was fucking shell shocked at the onslaught of nothing and anger coming at me. So apparently I did 6 minutes. It felt like I was up there for 3.5 days. 6 minutes. And I motored through 1.5 years of comedy in 6 minutes. And then I look and Paul Mooney's walking in and, you hear that da, 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 or whatever in the corner. And I'm like, oh, thank God. I audibly said, oh, thank God. And then I walk off stage and, I'm like, thank you, whatever. I'm nobody, hung it up. And I walk off stage and, I'm like kind of looking to meet Paul Mooney because it still doesn't dawn on me that that was embarrassing.
Yeah,
It was just I got to open for Paul Mooney.
Yeah.
Wow, that was horrible, but it almost was so horrible that I don't know what happened.
Right.
So I walk over to him almost to shake his hand, and he swim moves me, walks directly on stage, and goes, "What is this, White Night at Caroline's?"
That's when you want to make your Irish goodbye.
Hey everyone, before we go, if you enjoy this podcast, you might enjoy some of the other podcasts available at gasdigitalnetwork.com. This week, we are highlighting Mike Vecchione Investigates with host Mike Vecchione. You can find the full catalog of episodes on demand at gasdigitalnetwork.com or catch the latest 15 episodes anywhere you find podcasts. Here's a clip.
We knew each other through the comedy scene, but at this point we were becoming new roommates. And I'll tell you, I was taking a lot of liberties with being the elder in the apartment. I was smoking when I pooped. I was smoking when I was drunk watching The Wire. I'm sorry for that. This is me apologizing. But anyways, back to your response.
That's all right. But maybe a normal person that would have bothered, but you have to understand where I came from. I came from 7 months, and I'm legitimately saying this, of pulling my hair out from bed bugs attacking me. Bed bugs were attacking me. Let's take it all the way back. Let's take it all the way back because I want to ask you questions
you bring up the BBs and you start getting a little jumpy. That's you have PTSD from bed bugs. Dude, one of the funniest things Nate Bargatze ever said was Nate was staying on our couch and this is like fucking 7 years ago, and you went to bed, and then Nate was like, what if we like knocked on Vecchione's door and you just like heard a bunch of locks? And then he opened the door and a shotgun came through and he went, oh, sorry, I thought you were bed bugs. It's like, it really is. That is the feeling in the apartment. I remember one time finding you taught me what a carpet beetle was. I didn't know a carpet beetle was a thing because I thought it was a bed bug.
Right.
And I came and told you that I had a carpet beetle the same way I went to Arizona's student health center thinking I had herpes when I had an ingrown hair. It was the same. It was the same downtrodden.
Everybody texts me. Are these bed bug bites? Is this a bed bug? Like I get texts. Like that's most of my day actually.
I'm gonna commission a painting of the dogs playing poker. It's just gonna be you playing poker with all the bed bug smelling dogs. That's the painting that I want. It's just you guys all talking about the ups and downs of the bed bug business. But when I'll tell you what happened before I moved in was, first of all, I got all my stuff. I had to pay to get all, which I was glad to pay at that point, get all my stuff fumigated so I didn't bring the bed bugs over. But you guys, you didn't seem that concerned about it. You were just like, yeah, whatever, dude. I'm like, yeah, I want to get it all steamed and get rid of stuff and get everything I do have steamed and high heated so that I could bring it over. But we're gonna be 100% honest on this, and there might be some people that if they find their way to this podcast are going to be a little upset at the next thing I'm going to say. Vecchione, you were such a trade up. I didn't worry about off the field personality problems. It was such a trade up from the previous roommate that I was like, you got a DUI? Hey, who hasn't had a couple pops and taken a little spin? It was like, I was just so excited you were moving in. You're like, I might have bed bugs. I was like, well, you're going to like try not to, right? And you're like, yeah, I'm going to. And also hearing the seriousness in your voice when talking about it, you were like, you read your plan of fumigating your furniture to me before you moved in like it was a bank heist. Like you're like, here's how it's going to go down. Viewers are going to come in. All the furniture is going to be in the center of the room. The bed bugs are going to be distracted by little flakes of skin that I've put everywhere around the apartment. And people don't realize, which I can attest to, you came in hot about bed bugs to the point where I think even once after I got the Guinness gig, I think I got you a Christmas present that was a heating suitcase that would kill bed bugs. That's right. Yes, you did. I bought you like a fucking... You got me a heating suitcase. I remember that. I was like, dude, this thing will kill bed bugs. I was like, it's fucking... Because I remember you telling me when you were on the road that you would put your bag up on you wouldn't even put it on the counter. You would put it on like in the bathtub. In the bathtub. Yeah. Here's my hotel regimen, Dan. I would get my bag. I would go to the hotel. I'd get in the room. I'd put my bag in the bathtub. I'd take off all my clothes except for my underwear, put everything in the bathtub. And then I would get online. Tammy Pescatelli actually taught me this. You take the iron and you plug it in and put it on the bed because they respond to heat. So that'll bring them to the surface. While that's happening, I'm online checking the bed bug registry to see if the hotel has had any previous complaints. Damn. Do you still do that? No, I don't do that anymore. But the iron thing is very clever. I didn't know that. Yeah, the iron thing, it brings them to the surface. And then what do you do? Like, do you pull the sheet back and go, aha? And they're like, no. Oh, you tricked us. We thought you were a juicy lady taking a nap.